Good morning. This is George. We're in, my family and I are in day 5 of quarantine here near the Mall of Asia in a hotel. We got 10 days of quarantine. We entered the Philippines on the 1st of July. This is the 5th. We get COVID testing done on the 7th. Received a confirmation email last night on that. Then on the 9th, we're supposed to have our results back. And then on the 10th, hopefully everything's good to go. We get our results on the 9th and we can leave. We're supposed to be doing 4 more days of quarantine under the supervision or whatever the rules are for the LGU, the local barangay. Uh, Whatever their rules are, I guess. I'm still kind of confused about that. There's nothing really clear on that like there was for this 10-day quarantine. I want to talk a little bit about the quarantine, excuse me, um, and kind of the way that's going. So, I guess my observations from landing in Manila, uh, it's a pretty smooth process, but it just seemed to me like, I mean, we had our documents checked like 3 times from our departure city in Florida. Then we had them checked again, a little bit more thorough. Both of these on American in Dallas, going to Tokyo. Going to Tokyo, the plane was less than a third full. It was a 787, pretty big aircraft, and uh, just not a lot of people. I guess I found out that's very hard to get in Japan. Most of the people coming there were Japanese nationals from the U.S. or U.S. military personnel. Other than that, there wasn't a lot. A few, I think there's maybe a handful of us that were transiting to the Philippines. There were some other people going to Indonesia and a few different places. Quite a handful, maybe I'd say 15 people going to Guam. But other than that, that was it. Just not a lot of people. So it made it great flight. If you wanted a whole row to stretch out, you could get it. That was a good thing. Um, Other than that, I would say um, that flight was good. It was a pretty new plane. The entertainment system on there was good. And one thing I'll say about this American flight, normally I hate flying American carriers overseas. Foreign airlines, they seem to have younger flight attendants that are more friendly. A lot of the American carriers, they're old, they're cranky. They get the flights because I guess seniority and stuff like this. But I'll have to say that crew going from Dallas to Tokyo, an American, they were great. They weren't like when we went to the Caribbean where they're constantly on you about a mask and stuff. Um, as long as you had your mask on, you went to the bathroom or when you're watching, you just had your mask up. But if you took 20 minutes to drink a drink and eat your food, they didn't say anything to you. They just really never said. I didn't see them say anything to anybody. So that was a nice change of pace from when I went to the Caribbean a few weeks ago, where they were just all over you if you didn't keep your mask up. Um, it was a good flight. We landed about 1 hour early into Tokyo. We had someone meet us from Japanese Airlines, and they had a sign up for our flight number going to Manila. So the people going there, we followed them. Some other people followed another person uh, going for Guam, and then also going with us was people going to Indonesia. Um, so he took us to the transfer desk, and it's normally where we go through and we put our luggage through another security thing to go to the gates, our forwarding gates. We did not have to do that this time. We went straight, like I said, to the transfer desk. They checked our documents. It probably took 30 to 45 minutes. They looked up and down at our documents. They asked questions. They uh, they said they wanted to make sure we didn't have a problem when we got to Manila, which was good. A lot of the rules had to look up. I pretty much had them memorized. I've been looking at this stuff for months, making sure I knew what we needed. And other than a couple things they had to double check, They finally gave us a green light. You can go on to your gate. Gave us our boarding passes. Took our old ones, and we were off and running to the gate. We get to the gate. We noticed that uh, there was just no one around. I mean, no one. All the stores were closed. The restaurants were closed. It was like a ghost town. I've never seen Narita Airport like this. I've traveled through there many times over the years. Nothing like this. Like I said, it's hard to get in. There's not really that many flights flying around Asia from there. So we got to our gate. There's just a handful of people. And then finally, close to the flight, some more people came. But and there was a couple different flights, and some passersby going to a few other gates. But we got on this flight, and I was even more shocked that there's probably 20 people or less on this big 787 again. And in the back part of the plane where we're at, there was a family in the first row. We were just a few rows back from them. And again, they said, you can stretch out whatever you want to do. They were courteous. It was a little bit older 787 than the one we were on with American, but still, it did the job. Uh, had the entertainment, provided food. I'm not a big fan of Japanese food. I don't eat a lot of sushi, but so the food they gave us wasn't great, but keep you from starving. And probably if you like that type of food, you probably loved it. That's just me. Um, but anyway, we landed in Manila. We were supposed to have gotten there at 9:40 p.m. Japanese time is 1 hour ahead of Philippine Standard Time. So we got in, like I said, scheduled for 9:40. We landed maybe 9:10. We're off the plane by about 9:20, 9:25. Again, someone was there to greet us. They took us through, told us our temperature check was going to be, they're going to scan our temperature as we walked by. They did that. Everything looked fine. They took us to this, what they call Gate 16. It's where they basically check you for your pasture undertaking. You can get this online before you go. It's probably better to have that filled out because we took some time. We had ours printed out, but we didn't have it filled out because I wasn't sure. There's a couple of things on there I had questions about, so we waited. So we filled that out. They pretty much, and then once you waiting your turn to go up, give that form to the lady. They check or the people at the desk. They check your passports, and that's pretty much it. Then after that, they tell you to go over, wait in line to pay for your COVID test. And you should have had registered. You're supposed to register for your COVID test prior to coming there. Another thing at the other desk they did was check to make sure you had your hotel booked for your quarantine. They're getting pretty strict about that. If you don't have it, they can turn you right back around, put you on the next flight, and you're out of there. So that's very important to have that done. Very important to have your COVID test scheduled. They're easy things to do. Just make sure you get it done. Um, once we, while we were paying, we paid for the COVID test, went to another desk, checking everything again about our transfer. We got our transfer little pass or whatever because we had prepaid for the hotel to transport us to our hotel. I did ask if I could go to a different destination than I originally listed. They asked me what it was. I said it will be a hotel. I don't have one quite yet, but I'll have one. But this is the barangay I'm going to. They said that's good enough. And so they took that information down, and that was it. After that, they had one thing I will say about this area. It was the people that do the COVID testing, but also the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard, as soon as we left there, there's another gentleman that took us over to immigration next. Immigration, basically all they did was check our passport, check the documents that we were already given by the one-stop shop over at the Gate 16, and then they stamped us in. And right after that is baggage claim. Our bags were already waiting, and they helped us load them, and they just sent us out toward customs. And there was a Coast Guard guy waiting for us there. He was very helpful. Asked for our transfer uh, pass so we could get our transport. We asked if we could wait a few minutes because we wanted to exchange some money. and get a SIM card and a load for our phones because we had already had our phones unlocked from the US, so we just needed the SIM card and the load. Um, got back from that, and then he asked us about can we call the hotel to confirm the shuttle. I said we didn't. At that time when he asked that is before we actually got our SIM card. So he went to the desk, got a phone, called the hotel, confirmed it, and then so he was real nice about that. Again, it's the Philippine Coast Guard. Once we got everything together, we had everything we needed. He walked us outside the door, told us to wait right there. About a minute later, our van was there. The guy came and we loaded up the van with all our bags, and they took us immediately over to our hotel at the Mall of Asia. Once we got to our hotel, we got out. They were unloading our baggage. They sprayed our baggage with something, and then some sanitizer, and then they had us wash our hands. We had to take a temperature check, and then all that was good. They told us to go up the second floor, and that's where we checked in. So, and once we got in, they gave us we paid for the hotel. They had some food there for us. That was from the dinner time, I guess, because we didn't get to the hotel till guys almost midnight on the first. So after that, uh, they gave us a key. Said it's a one-time usage key. You need it for the elevator. You need it for your room. And after that, it won't work. And they told us we can't leave the room. Can't do anything. That's it. You're in there for 10 days. They'll bring the food. They'll leave it on a chair outside your door. They knock when they bring it. And then if you're asleep, you just check when you get up. It says something about they would remove the food after 3 hours, but we were asleep for about 6 hours past food time last night, and the food was still out there, but we didn't eat it. It wasn't good, so we just did without on that. Um, and so we're on day 5. Like I said, it's pretty rough. I was in the Navy. I was on ships. I was at sea for 6 and 9 month deployments. But at least, you were busy. You were working, you know, half the day. Then you slept. You ate. And time went by, faster than this. This, you're in a hotel room, locked in. Like today, the TV's not even working. Thank God we have internet and I can still get on the computer. But the biggest, I guess, everything's as expected. We kind of prepared ourselves mentally for the 10-day quarantine being locked in this hotel. What I didn't prepare myself for was the food. It's not that I don't like Filipino food and stuff. I love Filipino food. The problem we're having is they've got this menu at the restaurant. They told us when we came in, if we want other food, they'll be open till 10. They're open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can get food, extra food during that time, but you have to pay for it. Okay, so the meals started coming, and when we woke up on day 2, and they're very small portions. Most of it is rice, white rice. That's it. The the food portions are extremely small. So I'm trying not to eat rice because I'm watching my blood sugar. So if you don't eat rice, you're starving before the next meal because it's just not enough. And they're very very small portions. Like I said, over half the meal is just white rice. One day they gave me for lunch, I think 2 days ago, is one little small chicken leg, small, and maybe like a cucumber, and the rest was rice. I mean, it's just not enough. Not going to do it. And then today, for example, for breakfast, I get up. I've got my, I'm hungry. We had gone to sleep last night. Uh, we hadn't had a good night's sleep yet, where we really slept more than four hours at a time, maybe. And so last night or yesterday, we went to sleep about 2 in the afternoon. Woke up at 4 this morning. So finally, I feel pretty good rested. So I hope now I can stay on Philippine time now and get in a routine for the rest of our stay here and going forward. But yeah, it's pretty rough. But as far as food goes, like I said this morning, We picked it up. It comes in little plastic disposable containers. So again, half of it was rice, white rice. They gave me a couple pieces of sometime a sausage, and then it was like one little slice of cucumber, one green tomato slice, and then the egg was so small, the portion they gave me, I literally picked it up with a spoon. It didn't cover up the whole spoon. That was my egg. So I'm very disappointed because we're paying a lot of money at this hotel. Could have gone to some smaller hotels, maybe had less room, but they allowed you to order in. This one will allow nothing in. They did allow us to order some stuff from the store the other day that we needed, some mango juice. Uh, we needed some face shields so when we leave here, stuff like this, shampoo. But that's it. Alcohol is a no-no here. No alcohol, no cigarettes. If you smoke, too bad, 10 days. Um, so you just can't, none of that is available. So just be prepared for that if you smoke or you drink. Um, no brew coffee, even though it's supposed to have it at the restaurant. They have espresso in your room. They told me I could only get espresso from the restaurant. The that we did buy some 3-in-1 from the store. That was the other thing we bought. The nice guy, bell guy, he actually gave us some tea and some other coffee, instant coffee. It wasn't 3-in-1, just regular coffee. So he gave that to us. That helped. Um, they do give you a lot of water every day. You have to tell them no more water. They give you these big bottles of water, and I mean, even drinking coffee, tea, uh, water to drink is just, if they gave food like that, it'd be great. But they give that with the water. So the biggest things they give are the water and the rice. The rest, and then we've been ordering extra food from the restaurant, and that's been costing us about 40 US a day on top of what we've already paid. So now that's an additional probably 400 by the time we leave here in just extra food costs because they're so skimpy on the meals. I've sent an email, I've called, but nothing so far has changed. Um, just be warned. Probably better if you can get some snacks, bring them with you. Stuff, maybe some tuna, stuff like whatever you can get that you could bring. I don't know, to make it through would be great because otherwise you are going to spend probably additional money. So that's my biggest problem with all this stuff is just the food. It's just not enough. And they have good food from the restaurant. Yeah, it costs. A burger was like $12. This triple decker sandwich was like $10. Um, Fries only a couple bucks. They have some good homemade potato chips, probably a buck or two. But most of the food, I'd say, they have some small portions that are about $3 to $4. But a regular meal is going to cost you, $10. There are some even better meals, probably cost you 20 US, 15, $20 US, which is pretty expensive. But especially when you're already paying for food. So this is just in addition. So like I said, just be prepared. If you don't have snacks or any food with you, you're going to most likely have to order from the restaurant. And also be warned at our hotel, they say the restaurant's up until 10, but then I found out a couple days later that they don't take any orders after 7:30. So that 10 o'clock is not really, you might as well say 7:30 because you try to order after that, they won't do it. So that's another problem. So between 7:30, even if you got food ordered then, you get it by 8:30. Well, the restaurant opens at 6. They deliver the breakfast between 6 and 7. I think lunch is 11 to 12. Dinner is 5 to 6. Uh, so that's pretty much it. It might be 6 to 7, but whichever. It's around 6 p.m. So if you're hungry at night, it's pretty rough. And I had a sandwich I ordered yesterday. I ate some of it. I was going to eat some. I was just going to take a nap, and that's when I passed out for that long time. So tried to ask them if they'd warm it up this morning because they told me when I came in that they could warm stuff up in the microwave because, of course, there's none in the room. And they told me, no, there's cross-contamination. We can't warm it up. And I was like, you can clean it, sanitize it after, but they told me no, so they wouldn't do it. So I didn't finish eating my sandwich because of that. It just wasn't good after sitting there. It would have been decent if it was warmed up. But anyway, that's some of the problems we've had. But other than that, the room's big enough. We got 2 rooms. So between the kids and us, they can do their thing gaming. We can be on the internet, watch TV, read, whatever you want to do. And so we've got room, so that's not really an issue. We're on the 15th floor. We got a view, basically Pasay City in Manila. But other than that, that's kind of the way it works. So hopefully this gives you a little background on some of our quarantine stuff. But it is pretty rough. You're 24 hours a day, and before long, I think I'm gonna be getting bed sores. But anyway, try to get up, you try to walk around the room a little bit, sit in a chair, do something, get your blood circulating. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is George. Keep watching our channel, like that video, and have a good day. Thank you.